Well, good day. So you've seen what I've been doing for the past hour or so, just watering. There's weeding to be done, but I'm not quite in the mood to do that. And it is hot. So we have had 3 days of really hot heat for the UK. And the last time we had weather like this for 3 consecutive days was around 1990, I think. So that's what I was reading this morning. So yeah, it's hot. So I've just come down, I've watered, I'm quite sweaty. Obviously, when you're watering, you create humidity. So you're increasing the humidity around you as you water. But that job needs to be done. The watering needs to be done. Otherwise, things just won't grow and they won't crop. I am having issues with the tomatoes in the grow bags. No doubt about it. Getting a bit of blossom end rot. And that is simply because it's so difficult to keep on top of the watering of those grow bags because they dry out so quickly. They really do. I must give each grow bag about 3 litres a day, maybe even 5 litres a day, but still they are evaporating and using the water up in the grow bag on a daily basis. So I come back the next day and they really do need a good soak again, where the ones in the ground just near me here are actually looking much better and just do with a good water every other day. But anyway, there we are. Very quick one today. See you again soon. Can you see? Fox and cat. This is Felicity the fox, Fenella's daughter, and Catty. Seem quite happy together in the shade, minding their own business. They're about 12 feet apart, something like that. Anyway, bye. Good day. It's a topping up day today. So I've left this can of water out overnight so that any chlorine or other gases can evaporate from it. And I'm going to use this now to top up our little bits of water around our plot for the wildlife. That's where Mr. Frog was, and in fact is, I can see underneath. He's underneath here. Right, now let's go to our washing up bowl ponds because they also need topping up. It's normally a job that I do first thing, but I've just done the plot tour. Look how big this rhubarb has got in just a few weeks. Right, just top watering onto the brick so that I don't disturb anything that might be below the water. Oh, there we are. Those are the 2 bits, or 3 bits actually, that need topping up. And now let's have a look at the Christmas potatoes. These have grown in a few days. They're about 4 inches tall. So now I'm going to top them up. So these have now both been topped up, and I've just put my fingers down, as you most probably saw, to make sure that the compost has really got into contact with the stems of the growing potatoes, because that's what you want, because that's where your tubers, your potatoes, are actually going to come from. Right, one final job. That's our little bird bath. That's where that little robin and a few other birds come and bathe. Not ideal being plastic, but it's all I've got at the moment. When I'm out and about a bit more, I'll look for a nice terracotta or ceramic bowl, big bowl, that I can use instead. Okay, that's it for today. See you soon. Bye. Good day. I'm in the shed because it's so bright outside. Really, really is. It's been hot, though in the last 20 minutes maybe, the clouds have come in and the temperature has dropped by maybe about 5 degrees. I've been doing a huge amount of watering again this morning because of the excessive heat that we continue to have. It was supposed to break a bit yesterday, and now they say it's going to break tomorrow with thunderstorms. We did have a thunderstorm and a tiny bit of rain yesterday, but really nothing to write home about. So today, my mind is thinking about seed saving. If you have seen the allotment tour video for August, you'll see that I mentioned a Brassica bean that I am going to let go to seed completely because it has been so prolific and so good. What I'm doing is using red ribbon to tie onto the plants that I want to save seeds from. So in the case of the Brassica, I'm going to save all of the seeds, all of the beans on that plant now for seeds. And I'm also going to look at the tomatoes because there's some there that I also want to save seeds from. And I'll be putting a red ribbon on those plants and saving seeds from the best tomatoes on those plants. Let's get on and I'll show you what I'm doing. So this is the Brassica that has been extremely prolific this year. So I'm going to save seeds just from this one plant, and I'm going to tie a ribbon around it. I mean, I won't forget, I don't think, but you never know, we may forget. So I'm going to tie a ribbon around it now. There we are, ribbon tied. So I know that I'm not going to harvest from this plant. I'm just going to let it all go to seed and then take the pods off when they are dry. You can see these cherry-like tomatoes there. There's one more just there. Another bunch forming there. Another bunch forming here. More flowers up here. This is right at the top, and there's still healthy leader going there and another bunch of flowers there. I don't know what this variety is. I'm going to have to look it up. I think it may be a black crim, but I'm not sure. I did think in my plan it was a mille fleur, but it's definitely not a mille fleur. So again, I want to save seed from this one. Obviously, if when I taste these, they're not very nice, I'll take my red ribbon off. But in the meantime, I'm going to tie a ribbon on. Sorted. These are our Amish paste that we really like. This plant is doing well. It did split early on, the leader split, but it's got fruit coming on it above on both of the leaders, and it's a nice shape. So I've put a ribbon to save these seeds. These are our marmande, which have done okay this year. Not got that big. They are a sort of, they can be grown as bushes and indeterminates, but they haven't really grown as indeterminates this year. But this is the best plant. We do have a nice tomato which we're having for lunch there, but that is a really strong plant. I'm going to save seed from this, and then I'll decide whether I buy fresh seed or not next year. But I've put the ribbon on so that I can save seed from one of these tomatoes. So it will be the best of this bunch of tomatoes. And then that is the red ribbons on for today. I will see you again soon. Bye. Good day. In the poly, which at the moment is the coolest place on the plot, because the big buddleia just here shelters the poly. So it's cooler in here, bizarrely, than it is outside. Now, we got that rain that we were expecting. We got a thunderstorm, so I'm just looking at B. Hang on, I'll be back with you. I'm back. Sorry. There was a honeybee getting very close to a spider's web, and I just wanted the honeybee to not get caught in the spider's web, so it's now outside somewhere. Anyway, yes, it's we had the thunderstorms that have been predicted and got a good dumping of rain. We also had some more rain overnight, but of course what that has done is raised the humidity down here considerably, so it is really, really hot. I'm just going to have a look at the flower bed, because something that Jane Kelly said to me made me think about something. Let's have a quick look at the flower bed. So a good dumping of rain on here last night, and the cosmos has picked up a bit and a few other things. But what I was saying as part of the August tour is I don't really have any summer flowering plants in here. And many people have suggested plants to put in here. And Jane Kelly suggested an achillea. And it reminded me that on the plot we used to have, there are some plants in there that I was growing to raise money for the allotments. Let's have a quick look at those. This is the flower bed I planted up on our old plot a year or so ago. And what reminded me about it was Jane mentioning achillea, which is this one at the front here. There's also some rudbeckia, oxeye daisy, and verbena over there. And yeah, now when a few months ago, the current plot holder did say if I wanted to dig any out, please do so. So I'm going to double check with them that that's still the case. And if it is, I will take some of these out in the next few weeks and plant them into our new flower border, because they will definitely give colour in the summer months. for little expense as well. I'll give some money to the allotment association because we would have been selling these at Hanwell Carnival this year. So yeah, I'm really pleased about that. Oh, excitement. And talking about flowers, here's something else that excited me just now. You see in the middle there? A flower, 2 flowers in fact, on our Luz de Otono autumn harvesting broad beans. Gosh, the water has really got the weeds going. Oh, look, there's someone there as well. Oh, and over there. So yes, we have flowers. There's another one in there. I'm not sure if you can see, tiny one at the end of my nail. So we have flowers on the broad beans, which I'm really, really pleased about. Not surprisingly. Okay, see you soon. Bye. Good day. Well, they do say what a difference a day makes, and certainly today is an example. Yesterday we were still sitting above 30 degrees. Today we're sitting in the sort of mid to lower 20s, and it does feel so much cooler. I mean, refreshingly, gorgeously cooler. However, there is blanket cloud, so we're not getting the sun that we had been getting, and I think over the coming days we're going to have quite a lot of water as well. But that's good. I mean, everything is looking really fresh, and that is terrific. You know, it really is. So what am I doing today? Well, yesterday I was watching one of Erica's videos of Erica's Little Welsh Garden, and she had the most amazing harvest of yellow French beans from dwarf bean plants she had in her greenhouse. And it was they were sown amidst her collars of tomatoes, and she'd done absolutely nothing to them whatsoever. So I am also going to be sowing some seeds today. Inspired by that, I'm going to be sowing some Sonesta yellow dwarf French beans, and also I was given earlier in the year from Chiltern Seeds some Venice dwarf beans. Now, interestingly, my dad always used to have amazing plants from his dwarf beans. Absolutely amazing. Covered in produce. I mean, just amazing. Watching Erica's video yesterday, I think Dad didn't pass on a trick to me, because I now remember, having watched Erica's video, that when we harvested from the plant had 3 stems. And actually what Erica had done is she had sown 3 seeds closely together. And effectively she'd done that to hold, so that they each held each other up. But my dad, I am sure that's what he used to do. But that was one little trick that he kept from me. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do how Erica did and how I'm sure my dad did, and sow 3 seeds closely together in the polytunnel. Let's get on and do it. So this is where I'm going to be sowing. I'm not going to worry too much about these lettuce, which I'm leaving to go to seed, nor this cost lettuce, which we're still harvesting from, because what I will do is just cut them down to the ground when I've either finished harvesting them or taken the seeds off. So I'm not going to worry about that spacing. I am going to put some lettuce, some of the Marvel of 4 Seasons, along the front here as well. But now I'm going to put the beans in. Okay, here's my Sonesta dwarf French beans. Just shake them out. It says there's 15 in here, though some I can see are already broken. Let's just get rid of those. So I'm just putting, that one's broken as well, 3 down, about 1.5 inches down. I'm going to put another 3 around this lettuce at the back. As I say, I'm not worrying really about where these are going, because what I'm going to do is cut the lettuce off here when I've harvested the seeds. Right, I'm going to put these a bit further in because this is where I want to put my lettuce. I'm not expecting these to get that big because it is the middle of August now, so these will most probably only have about 6 weeks to grow. But of course, because they're in a polytunnel, they're going to be a bit protected. Okay, that's all of the Sinester. Got one left, which I've just put at the back there. These are the Venice. Again, a few of these are broken, which I think is more about heat than anything else. I'm going to put one more lot just here. Not worrying about the cucumbers either. Great. And now, this is a Northern Queen lettuce. That's going right at the front. Marvel of 4 Seasons. I'm just going to carry on along here with the Marvel of 4 Seasons right at the front. Okay, so at the front I put a row of lettuce, and then not worrying too much about the base of the growing plants here, I've put sowings of dwarf French beans. Fingers crossed. And as with all things, if I can do this, pick up my watering can. Oh, so all of that has had water. And again, I'm going to leave it for about 30 minutes and then put another watering can on top. And that will be jobs done. And fingers crossed. Bye. Good day. I've been waiting for the weather to cool down to put these Cavallo Nero, or Nero di Toscana actually, and purple sprouting broccoli in. And I've just cleared some space in this bed. This is where we had some cauliflowers there and there, which did okay. The leaves are absolutely gorgeous. And now I'm going to put these in rather more closely than I would normally, but it's all the space I have at the moment. There is space at the end here for a couple more, so I'm just going to get in and do that. They're all in the modules. I'm going to put one out. Can't do it with one hand, but they're all in these modules and have really good root systems. You can mostly see the roots at the bottom there. So desperately need to go in, which is what I'm going to do. Just digging a hole like we've done before, placing these in and really firming them down. They really need to be firmed down. You don't want rocky brassicas. Those are now in. The Nero di Toscana, which are these, are about 10 inches apart, where the purple sprouting broccoli are about 14 inches apart. Ideally, they'd be further apart than that, but that's all the space that I have in here. So now I'm going to do what we always do. Even though the ground is wet, everything is going to have a nice water. We're due more rain later on, so they'll get another splashing later on. If they don't, I will come down and water them again. Right, so that is that job done. The last thing I'm going to do is put this netting back and peg it back into place so that the cabbage white butterflies can't get in. Not too many of them around today, but there's still some. Bye. Good day. It is Sunday, so the end of the week. And today has been a bit of a sort of quiet day. It's nice and cool today. Still quite humid, but not too bad. I've been doing weeding, which really needed to be done. There's several beds, particularly the bean bed, and the next one I'm going to tackle is the broad bean bed just up here. So that will be the next, and then I'm going to do the big bean bed here. Everything else has been weeded. I did some of the weeding of the Brassica beds when I was putting the brassicas in the other day. But really today has been a quiet day where I've been thinking about next year. I have also been checking the tomatoes and doing the tomato maintenance because we had a blight warning again this morning. So we had a Hutton period blight warning yesterday, Saturday, again today, but tomorrow it's a green day, so it looks as though everything will be okay tomorrow. But this is the time when the humidity is high and the temperature is above 10 degrees constantly, i.e. it's not falling above that at night, that blight can really take hold on tomatoes and potatoes. So I've earthed up our Christmas potatoes, as you may have seen in our Sunday chat video. And all of the tomatoes have been double checked. They've also been fed because today is the day. Sunday is always a feeding day for me. Well, not for me. Well, it is for me. Every day is a feeding day for me, but a feeding day for the tomatoes. So they've all been fed. They're looking good, but boy, I had a walk around the plot earlier and I found some other people who have got the most amazing tomatoes. It is in a poly, in one of those white polys rather than the green polys like we've got, but they are the healthiest tomatoes I have seen this year. In fact, just fabulous. I'll show you them another day. Yeah, so what I have done today is I have put I'll start again. I'm thinking about where I'm going to put a pond where the frog is by the lavender. And it's a bit close to the path, or it's very close to the path. And I think if I put it on the corner where I was thinking of putting it, there's going to be a tendency to put one's foot into it and fall into it. So I've decided to maybe just move it up a little bit. I'm going to be using an old recycling box that we used to have for recycling at the council, curbside recycling. And I've put the box there because I'm going to live with the box there and see how I feel about it. Obviously, the box will be sunk in the ground rather than rather than above the ground. But at least it will give me a feeling of, if that was there, am I likely to put a foot into it, or whatever. The other thing that I've been thinking about is the edge of the beds here. As you know, we've got 4 sets of edge beds here, and we've been growing a few things at the edges. We've got, in fact, let me just go over there and show you, and rather than just me chat about it. These are the areas that I'm talking about. Quite a bit of weed, and in here is that sancfoil. This is just a path covered in sancfoil. I'm just going to pause for a plane to go over. This verbascum is here, and then over there you can see we've got some mint and some cucumbers. But what I'm thinking, oh, a spot of rain. What I'm thinking, let me just go up here and then turn around. Right, those are our tomatoes. And this is really going to be the edge of this bed next year. So what I'm thinking is leaving a path, maybe 40-50 centimetre path, and then that will give me space, particularly in these 3 beds, at the end of these 3 beds, to grow more. And I reckon I could most probably get an additional 1.2 meters, because these beds are 1.2 meters wide. I'd most probably get an extra 80 centimeters by 1.2 meters, maybe even a meter of additional growing space. So that's what I'm thinking. Would I edge them in or leave them as sort of just ground beds? I don't know, but that is another job for the winter. So I'm going to mull that over the coming weeks. Let me just take you to where I've put the recycling bin pond. So this is where, in here is where that frog is living at the moment, and the toad is back under here. And what I was thinking of doing is putting a pond right at the corner. But if I just come back a bit, you can see we've got, our neighbours have got this fabulous hedge here. And I'm wondering whether, if I had a pond right on the corner, whether it might be quite easy to fall into or step into. Where actually, by the time you've rounded this corner and you're here, you're sort of, and you're standing here, you're sort of on the path ready to go up there. So what I've done is I've put this recycling box here, and I'm just going to live with that for a while, a couple of weeks. What I think it will do is be far enough away from the lavender to not interfere with the lavender, but also far away from the edge of this bed, so that I can carry on working around here without putting my foot into here. So I'm just going to leave that there for a while. The rhubarbs will be going into this area. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. And as I say, I'm just going to live with that tub there for a while. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm going to get back on with weeding, because there is weeding to do. But look at that sunflower over there. It really is such a happy sight. Look at those. Gorgeous. Okay, see you soon. Bye.